Anyway, that's enough of the preamble. Let's go ahead and get into some wrestling. We start off with Survivor Series, Vancouver, British Columbia. Our walkers are Team Ripley, Team Useless Liv Morgan, LA Knight, The New Bloodline, Heyman, Punk, Jay and Sammy, and then Roman and Jimmy. It's kind of weird that they're all like separate, which is the New Bloodline is a team. They're a cohesive unit. The old Bloodline are just their own individual things. I just
They
think
are.
it's a weird dichotomy. And I believe they used T-Pain's version of War Games. It was awesome. T-Pain rocks. And Corey Graves and Michael Cole are on commentary. They were actually pretty good. Corey Graves, especially the Shinsuke Nakamura match, he brought Shinsuke's like New Japan history and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Went into the lore. He didn't just go to the superficial shit like his partner does. So right off the bat, we have women's War Games. Ripley had a Slipknot mask. She should make it permanent, but never mind. She took it off when the War Games officially started.
I was like, how's she gonna wrestle in that thing? Like,
I thought it
it
was
had
bad.
horns on it.
Yeah. I mean, she tussled a bit.
Yeah.
Bailey and Jax started. Fuck Naomi. She started her part wearing a birthday hat. And then she grabbed a toilet seat and a kendo stick. And for some reason, the kendo stick was yellow or green or something. She also smacked herself in the face with it when she hit Nia.
It was her birthday. That's why.
Okay, yeah, that's a good message to send for the War Games match. Just wear your fucking birthday hat
Yeah. And the kendo stick matching your outfit.
and the toilet seat. It was funny when she hit herself, though. I laughed. I have no idea why the baby faces would have War Games advantage. I also don't know who thought it was a good idea to put like one of your women's champions in a position to get their ass beat for 5 minutes. Naomi did a fucking stink face to Nia with the toilet seat wrapped around her head. War Games. I don't know what the bitches were doing with the chair shots. God damn, Nia's useless.
Boy, those chair shots. I don't even think it was all Nia's fault. I think it was.
She swung the chair.
She did. But if you watched it, she goes to hit Naomi with the chair. Naomi does this. Like she's about to get hit in the head for some reason. Because, it's
Well, she turned.
WWE.
I think she was supposed to stand with her back to Nia, and Nia was supposed to whack her with the chair, but then she turned around and then covered her face. So what Nia should have done is jab her in the stomach like they do,
Well,
and not just
and,
like pussy hit her with it.
and that's what I said. And here I'm told Nia Jax is unsafe and doesn't protect her opponents. And look at this. She had the weakest chair shots in history because
She's either reckless and unsafe, or she just sucks. She's slow plotting and just ugh. It really sticks out because she's the most impressive looking out of all of them. But when she's the phoniest out of all of them, it just sticks out like an orange hat with a yellow bill.
I just think it was just like a miscommunication. She didn't ad lib.
I'll give you that, yeah.
And
But
then
that's on her. She is a champion. She is supposed to be the standard bearer of the women's division, and she can't ad lib a fucking chair shot. I'm not a wrestler, and I thought of that.
Well, I mean, she could have just took Naomi's head off.
She could have done that too, just to eat a fine.
Yeah.
That would have been better, actually. Io came out. She had a custom trash can, and then she moonsaulted off the cage with it. Also, at the same time, Stratton did a swanton. And at the same time, everybody was stood in a cluster, obviously waiting to catch them.
Not even that. First of all, they're turning EO, or really, they're turning that spot, the jump off the top of the cage with the trash can, into like the. I don't know if you were watching wrestling when Kofi Kingston every year he had like a elimination spot.
Yeah, his Royal Rumble stunt.
Yeah. And in our retro reviews, it was almost like they were putting Shelton Benjamin in the ladder match so he can have a spot every year.
Yep.
So that's basically what they're doing with her.
That's all she has.
Yeah, just get out there and do your trash can spot. Now, this one was ridiculous. First of all, she was looking for several seconds for this trash can under
She
the
went
ring.
on the other side of the ring,
Meanwhile,
didn't
well, she starts, where the door is. She starts there,
Mhm.
and then she goes to the other side to find
Yeah.
her trash can. Meanwhile, remember, her team is in there getting beat down. And then she finally finds the trash can, and she climbs up the cage where literally no one is in the ring. And then all of a sudden, everybody just comes over.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
It was awful. And then she waited so long. She was pumping up the crowd, and then it took her forever to put the trash can over her head. Then she finally jumped. And again, everybody was just obviously standing in the center of the ring, just waiting for her.
Yeah, I'm like, hurry up. And then Tiffany Stratton, she's on the other side, and they get the aerial shot and just see people splitting up into their appropriate sides.
Just awful. And yeah, going back just a little bit, I don't understand the whole getting weapons. Like, you're using your whole entire and fucking advantage getting weapons.
Oh yeah, for the women, literally everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
How
my
many
turn.
fucking weapons do you need?
Go see a weapon.
Why does everybody need their own little special custom weapon? Can't you use a weapon that's already in the fucking ring?
I don't know. I guess it's more about the how it's produced or something. Because yeah, they did that last year too. Everybody who won the ring had to get something.
Oh, so Stratton T's cashing in her briefcase, but she didn't because she's a moron. So she had Jax and Liv dead to rights. They're just laid out in the middle of the ring. She gets a trash can, she digs through it, she pulls out a whole bunch of shit, and finally she pulls out the briefcase. She holds it up, and then she doesn't know which one she's going to pick. Well, Io comes out of nowhere and sprays her with a fire extinguisher. So, why'd you even bring it in?
I don't know. I saw some people predicting she was going to do it too. Like,
Well,
she's going to cash in at War Games. And
I feel like it's going to be a priest thing.
I'm I'm thinking she might do it for this U.S. title. I'm thinking she makes it to the final. She loses in the finals. So whoever.
So you're stealing my idea?
No.
Totally stealing my idea.
I'm saying she's in the finals. She loses the match. And then whoever her opponent is, she jumps her after the match and then cashes in. It's like, no, I'm leaving as champion. Cash in. Now, I'm saying that could happen. I still haven't actually predicted a cash in yet, but I'm saying that could.
Didn't she lose the U.S. tournament?
No, she won.
Oh, I thought she was in the other one.
No, she won tonight or yesterday. That is not to be confused with the Intercontinental title.
Oh, but it will be. So for some reason, Io decides to not trust Bayley, who started the fucking match, and she saved Bianca from getting pinned. At the same time, Io decided to save Bianca from getting pinned. So then Io stops. She looks at Bayley like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're betraying us." Because they got to have that fucking stare down every single goddamn War Games match. So contrived.
Yeah.
Jax went through a table. Ripley hit useless Liv Morgan with a riptide off the top rope through a table. 1, 2, 3. So maybe if useless Liv Morgan and the equally useless bitch with the purple hair made out for just a little bit, that could have saved this match. But this was a no for me, dog.
Oh, Candice LeRae. Yeah, not the best showing for the women there.
Yeah, I think they jumped the shark with the War Games for the women.
Well, they didn't really have a reason to have a War Games for the women.
Exactly.
That's the start of it. But again, we know why they did it.
They need to fucking figure something else out.
It got to a point where people were questioning if maybe War Games shouldn't be every year.
That's the shitty thing about it. Like, you can have War Games every year. You just don't need 2 fucking War Games matches every year. Either build a story for the women or build a story for the men. Don't have both of them. That's a tall order to ask fans to watch 2 fucking war, especially if they're going to be the women's at least was the 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was about that.
And the men's couldn't have been less than that.
That's true.
So I mean, that's an hour of the same fucking match, and one is objectively worse than the other one.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna do it, because I get why they have to do it, they don't want to get the backlash.
You know, they would get more praise if they put something creative into it, as opposed to, oh well, we gotta just have the same thing to make it equal. Let's just throw all these bitches together with no rhyme or reason. And then you see what happens when all these bitches with no rhyme or reason get together. It has no rhyme or reason to the match.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, okay, you're going to do it every year, fine. But you can build to it. It shouldn't be a surprise that you're going to do a War Games match in November.
Right.
So maybe let's start building towards one. You know you're going to do it, then prepare for it.
I would prefer to see a Survivor Series and a War Games match. It doesn't matter who. Like, you can have 1 year, let the women be in a cage. I don't give a shit about that. And then let the men do it like a traditional Survivor Series match. Or vice versa. When you keep doing the same shit, it all sucks.
Well, that's just a bigger problem. That's what happens when you try to appease everybody.
Well, up next we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight. Shinsuke came out dressed like a zombie samurai. And that entrance fucking slapped.
Yeah, they did like a WWE exclusive showing like them coming up with it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't think Def Jam or whatever the fuck their name was. I didn't think they had it in them. Well, they did Jacob Fatu's. This is good.
Yeah, and I was concerned when they changed his music, but yeah, it works out to his new whatever this is.
It's just eerie. So Knight drops the title belt during his entrance. Graves brilliantly worked that into Knight having butterflies in his stomach because Nakamura is different this time around.
And because I missed it.
and because he got misted. Graves and Cole said this is a must-win for Nakamura because he went away and reinvented himself. So he has to win this title, his second match back. It made sense, but I'm like, you put him in a position where he has to win the title, his second fucking match back.
Yeah.
So Shinsuke hit a release belly to back suplex from the top rope. Knight went all the way over and landed face first. Shinsuke hit Knight with a reverse DDT on the metal divider between the two rings, hit his Kinshasa 1, 2, 3. And I said, I'll be damned.
Yeah, I was surprised too. When he hit that reverse DDT, I'm like, he actually might win this. And then, yeah, he did. The crowd was shocked. Everybody was shocked.
Yeah. So it was actually a pretty good match. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing ever. I think the finish elevated in my eyes. And Shinsuke isn't completely out of the shut up territory, but I'm open to listening.
Yeah, I was saying, you can talk again a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to defend it, but you can talk now. You got a few weeks of talking.
Yeah, and I appreciated the samurai bow with the title in the middle of the ring. It's very Japanese. Love me some Japanese imagery. So we get a t-shirt commercial. Don't know why the fuck No Talent Dupree pronounces Otis's name Otis still.
I don't know.
Then we had Sheamus versus Kaiser versus Braun Breaker. So Sheamus hit a razor's edge off the top rope. He also had Braun beat with a brogue kick. Kaiser pulled the ref out of the ring just before the 3 count. Kaiser got his finish on Sheamus. Braun speared Kaiser, then Sheamus. 1, 2, 3. For me, nothing special. In fact, if you plucked this out of Survivor Series and put it in Raw, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference.
I thought they put on a pretty good show. I mean, if not for the main event, you can argue that may have been match of the night. Maybe it's just because the crowd was like super into it towards the end there. It elevates it when the crowd's like hanging on everything.
I think this would have been nicer if it was Sheamus and Braun Breaker, or Braun Breaker and Kaiser. I fucking hate the triple threat shit.
You do.
Because it's not original. Sheamus, you're going to have an opportunity for this Intercontinental title with Braun Breaker, but we got to get Kaiser in so he can get his shine too. Can't just have one-on-one matches for these lower belts.
It's seemingly when they do it, they want to protect someone from losing.
Come on, man. Somebody has to lose.
They do.
Maybe don't book them in a championship match if you don't want them to lose that quickly.
Yeah, they got some bigger plan, I guess.
And just think about how many feuds you ruin with the triple threat. Like El Idiot, you can have him feuding with LA Knight after the other one. Who the fuck did he feud with? Was it Escobar?
Mello?
Oh, okay, yeah. Because they had a triple threat. So, like, he could have had a feud with Carmelo, and then he could have had a feud with Idolo. But instead, they just do the triple threat shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're going to do that with the tag team titles, too.
Oh, yeah, it's coming.
So, next is Damian Priest versus Gunther. Priest all of a sudden can out-wrestle Gunther, so that's nice. Priest hurt his shoulder in the middle of the match. Gunther treated it like a bullseye. Priest did a Hell's Gate. Gunther hit a powerbomb after escaping a razor's edge. Priest hit his Frankensteiner from the top rope, and he hit his razor's edge. Priest tried to go for a choke slam. Gunther countered into a Kimura lock. It sounded like the crowd was cheering, "Let's go, Gunther," and that seemed to piss Gunther off. It's like, what are you doing? I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. Gunther goes for a superplex. Priest shoves Gunther off to the mat. The momentum sends Priest flying off to the floor. Balor comes out of nowhere, hits a coup de grace on Priest from the steel steps. Gunther kicks Finn in the face, tosses Priest in the ring, hits a powerbomb, does a nasty chokehold, and then Priest passes out because he still has to be hard. And yeah, same fucking feud, same fucking finish. Gunther had to be ruined for Finn Balor and Priest to face each other again.
Yeah. Your champion is the afterthought here.
That was how he won his belt. He was a fucking afterthought. He's been emasculated for 4 fucking weeks straight, and then he needs a little tiny Finn Balor to help him beat Priest.
This time, I don't even think he needed Balor.
He didn't.
I get the first time, but this time, yeah.
He beat Braun Strowman all by himself. He beat Drew McIntyre and Sheamus all by him fucking self. He does not need Finn Balor's help for shit. Finn Balor can carry his bags.
Well, we told him as much. I didn't need your help. He actually took this away from me.
Such a waste. You had gold. It's like watching somebody with like the Powerball fucking lottery ticket or whatever. Somebody wins that and they just go, they crumple it up and throw it away. I don't need it. I'll wipe my ass with it.
Like those people who get the lotto and then never claim it. You could have the winning ticket. You probably should check. And then they never do.
Lost so much respect for creative. Everybody says how hot at WWE is, and all they do is the same shit. It's vanilla, decent at best, sucks most of the time. You got No Talent Dupree saying fucking Otis. They're more interested in creating these fucking stupid, useless belts than stars.
Going with Mr. Gunther.
This pisses me off. At least we have Jacob Fatu. They haven't ruined him yet. Here's my little sliver of hope. Speaking of which, we have the men's war games. And they did Monday Night Football introductions. And they all made up fake schools. Like Bronson Reed said, Tsunami State. Except for Tangaloa. He said he was from University of Texas, El Paso.
UTEP. Yeah, he didn't get the memo.
Or maybe he did, and that's how interesting he is.
And then he had Jacob Fatu. He was just like, I love you, Solo.
Man, his SmackDown match was great with Jay.
Mm-hmm.
When he just leveled Jay and he goes, yeah, I do this. I do this. I love me a good badass that just speaks gibberish. Yeah, it was weird that all the good guys needed their own special little entrance while the bad guys actually came out like a unit. Tonga and Jay Uso started, and then Jacob Fatu came out to beat the fuck out of the Usos. He did a springboard moonsault on one while sandwiching the other against the cage, which is great. Roman blocked Punk from entering the cage so Sammy could have his turn, and then later Punk shoved Reigns out of the way so he could take his turn. They stared daggers at each other. Do you think maybe Roman wouldn't have such a hard time if he wasn't such a little bitch?
If everybody fell in line, he wouldn't have such a hard time.
Everybody has to fall in line.
Yes.
He's not champion anymore. He's the bad guy trying to make up for everybody.
Still, fall in line. Also, just to note, that moment where Reigns blocked Punk,
yeah,
that went super viral. Well, not even for WWE, it just went viral.
Really?
They got, I think it was like 200 something million views in 24 hours on that.
People want to see Punk and Roman, sounds like.
Yeah, that tells them that there's money there. I'm sure they already knew that, but
right,
pretty much solidified. Well, there's their money match.
I'd say just about anybody with Punk is money.
Yeah, and it was their most viewed clip this year.
Really?
Yeah, probably more views than AEW got all year.
Well, they fired him.
Yeah.
So it looked like Fatu hit about 3 or 4 different moonsault variations. He was just moonsaulting all over the place. And Punk bulldog Jacob Fatu on a toolbox. And then he no-sold it. And he beat Punk's ass. Solo got in. He directed traffic. He locked Roman out of the cage, which I thought that was genius. And then Roman climbed the cage, which one, I didn't think of that. Like, I would have been like, oh, man, I guess you guys are going to be on your own. I don't know what I can do. 2, they made it seem like it was an incredible feat, even though we saw Io and Tiffany Stratton do it in the first match.
Yeah.
So Roman helps everyone up but Punk at one point, and then Punk stands up and they start arguing. Heyman comes out to tell them to both grow the fuck up. Punk goes to GTS Fatu. Roman tried to hit Solo with a spear at the same time. He missed and hit Punk, and Solo came in from behind and hit him with a spike. And then Fatu fucks his knee up going for a moonsault intended for Punk. I thought that was legit. I was scared.
Yeah. Just him being good at his job.
Punk saved Roman, who was about to get tsunamied by Reed from the very top of the cage. And then Roman tried to help CM Punk up. And that was a big moment because they were arguing throughout the whole match. And then Roman finally accepted Punk into the team. Also, Reed fucked his ankle up for real. So the best tag team in the universe is not going to happen right now.
Yeah, the latest is... Now, this is from Meltzer, so...
Jesus.
But apparently he needs surgery on his ankle. And he's going to be out like 6 to 9 months. Did you see that someone did a clip and they slowed it down and zoomed in so you can see it happen? And yeah, he definitely hurt his ankle.
Which he's lucky that he still has an ankle.
I know. That much mass coming down on your ankle.
Mm-hmm.
His foot should have flew off in the 3rd round.
So Solo hit another spike on Roman, and Uso saved him. And then Fatu gets Uso splashed through a table by Jimmy. Jimmy climbed the top of the cage to do it, and he hurt himself. He fucking broke his toe. So at the very end, Solo's the only bad guy left standing. The original bloodline and Punk surround him. Solo knows he's fucked, but he says, I'm still the tribal chief. He proceeds to eat everyone's finish, with Roman winning with a spear 1, 2, 3. And Punk and Heyman, they hug, and then Punk reminds him of the favor. And the good guys, they walk away. Really ho-hum for me. Nothing happened. The good guys just won. More importantly, Solo's bloodline lost again. So where do we go from here? You can't tell me that the new bloodline is a threat now because they lose every fucking match that they're in. What is Roman going to do?
Well, I guess the last thing for him to do is get that Ulafala back.
Does he even care about that anymore? He hasn't even addressed it. It's almost like Glacier's helmet.
He still talks about it.
I haven't heard him talk about it. And there's 2 pay-per-views in a row. He's had Solo beat, and he never once tried to get it.
Yeah, he hasn't really reached for it in a couple weeks. There was that one time where he picked it up and then, yeah, he got attacked for it. But I'm thinking back, I don't even remember if it was there.
It was either Bad Blood or it was on a SmackDown, but he actually put it on, but he got attacked from behind.
Yeah.
He hasn't looked at it. He hasn't talked about it. When they asked him what the plan is, he didn't say, I don't know, but I'm getting my necklace back. Nothing.
Yeah, the one goal for tonight, guys. I don't know. He will get it back. It's leading to a one-on-one match. Now, the question is, where does the bloodline go after that? The new bloodline.
I don't know. They just better be glad they have Jacob Fatu. But yeah, that was Survivor Series.
Yep. I don't know my overall thoughts.
I mean,
I guess it was okay.
Nothing happened. I don't think any storyline really got. Maybe the LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura storyline. I mean, if you care, Priest and Balor are going to face each other again. Braun Breaker won. The new bloodline won. No turns, no surprises, no debuts, no returns.
Yep.
Could have done without it, actually.
It was just there.
Yeah.